All right, so what I'm going to show you now is I'm actually going to convert this utility line into a 3D utility network using the utility module and the utility parts and pipes. So the first thing you need to do is I'm going to go to the MSI manager and I'm going to go to my site improvements here, and because I used a blank template, I don't have any utility site improvements. Now keep in mind, in the takeoff knowledge app, we've actually detailed this as well, so there's just another process, but you'll learn something if you go look at that as well. In this particular case, I'm going to convert some line work into a utility network, and I just want to show you this process versus that process. A little bit different, but same, all the same. So I'm going to click on this new utility category, and I'm going to call it storm sewer, and now I can go ahead and start making my parts. So when I right click on this and say new storm sewer object, the first thing we'll do is we'll create our combined inlet. So I'm going to call this my combined inlet. You can call it whatever, whatever it is you call it. So if it's a DI7 or a 3B or a drop inlet, you can do that. So I'm just going to call it combined inlet because that's what they call it in the plans here. It's going to be a junction box, and it's going to be, maybe it's a, I don't know, it could be a certain class. That's not real important for what I'm doing. It's a 48-inch by 48-inch box, and it's got a 4-inch wall thickness. And you can see I'm just going to use a color of cyan. The cost I don't really need because I'm not doing takeoff at this point. I'm just doing data prep. And a couple of reasons why you might want to model this in 3D is for maybe to use in sight vision and or to look for conflicts. So the next part I need is my manhole. So I'm going to choose manhole, and this is going to be that storm manhole. And same thing here. I'm going to make it a 48-inch diameter, and its wall thickness is 4 inches. And then the last thing I need for this particular run is a pipe. So I'm going to call this 18-inch RCP, and it's going to be a circular line. And then I'm going to come in here. The material is concrete. Again, not too concerned about that. It's class 3, and it's 18 inches inside. The thickness is fine. I'm just going to make it 2 inches, and then we'll just say 20 for the bell. That really is not going to apply much to what we're doing, like I said, because it's just going to put the pipe in when we do this. So now that we've got our parts for this particular run, and you could add in other pipe sizes and all kinds of different things. So what I want to do now is I want to create the network. Now I could, go through this process, create the network, the run, the nodes, and the pipes, but since I already have a line that has my inverts, I'm just going to tell it to create a utility line. Now I do have to create the network, so I'm going to go new, or click new there, and I'm going to call this storm sewer. Well, maybe this is a certain run, main run, and then it's gravity based, and I'm going to put it on a layer here that's different than my other utilities, just to separate the 3D. So I'm going to call this STK-storm sewer, and we'll go -3D. Again, we'll apply a color to it. So I'll just pick this color, that's fine. Protect it. And then we'll put it on a group layer under utilities still. And then I'll close that. And I'll click OK. And then my circular pipe is what I'm going to use. The storm sewer pipe is the one I have. And then the node is not going to be a head wall, it's going to be a junction box. So I'm just going to put the junction box on all of these. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do a combined inlet, and I'm going to click apply. Oh, I have to pick the line first. So let me pick this line here, and I'll go ahead and I'll click apply. So now what it's done, you can see that it's put in the structure and it's put in the pipe. Now because this was one continuous line string, it put in the only the nodes at the end. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do the other ones. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to insert a utility node, and I'm going to pick that utility line, And I'm just going to go ahead and click there and apply, and it drops in that one. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pick this one and apply there. So it breaks that line there, and I'm going to do another one down here. So I'm going to go ahead and put one in. Let's check that distance again, make sure we pick it there and apply. Oops. Let me make sure I pick the pipe. Oh, because I broke the pipe, I got to pick the pipe. So then I'm going to come in here and pick it there. So I'm going to apply. Now I've broken those all. And what I can do is go back to create utility line. And I can grab this one. And we can apply that one. So now we've got all our utilities in. Now we got to do a little bit of cleanup. Couple things that we want to do is, if we take a look at the pipe, you'll see that the center line, the elevation for the invert got or was selected from the 3D line that we have there, and the elevation type is centerline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my control key to select all these pipes so that I can come in here and change the elevation type to invert. And we'll do the same thing here to invert. And now you can see my pipes actually go to the bottom of the structure, which is what they should be. Now I need to raise the rims, and I also want to rotate it. So if I pick the pipe, I can come in here and use this rotation. And basically I can take this and I'm just going to snap to this end here, and it rotates that structure. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll pick this one this time and we'll rotate it to that structure. Now, what I can do also is, if I pick this structure, the rim height, you can see, isn't exactly what it should be. So I can do a couple things. Probably the easiest thing to do is to simply go to my view filter manager and turn on my grading plan, or my drainage plan, sorry. So let's turn on that grading plan image, because that grading plan has all my dimensions for my rim height. So now I can come in here and I can see that this one and this one, they're both 29. So if I go to properties, I can adjust that to 21.99 for the rim, and do the same thing on this one. Pick that junction box, make that same thing, 21.99, and then work my way down doing the rest of these. This last one, I'll show you here. If I pick this, I can swap the part, so I can make that the manhole instead. So now when you look at it down here, I've got the manhole. So now I can come in and, like I said, I'll go through and I'll fix these and rotate them, and then set the rim heights. And then the next video, I'll show you how, when you export this out, what results you get by exporting out a 3D pipe network.